Hello, this is the final piece of the TBT and five-step process assignment. This is my reflection on the assignment itself and how it relates to leadership theory, or at least one of the leadership theories that we have talked about in our class so far. So I actually really enjoyed putting this assignment together. One aspect of teaching that I really love to do is to research new learning strategies and teaching techniques and incorporate them into my classroom. Or I guess in my world where it's virtual, taking techniques that usually work really well in a brick and mortar school and trying to adapt them to the virtual world. So that's sometimes a little bit of a challenge, is that you know that you have a teaching technique that is good and is effective, but in the virtual world, actually using the teaching technique and making it work for me is a little bit different. But I actually enjoy trying to adapt things to the virtual world and just researching new teaching techniques in general. Also, so that was a fun part for me to put together when I talked about the different learning strategies in step 3 that TBTs can use. I also learned through this assignment how TBTs are supposed to work, and I discovered how ineffectively and incorrectly we are using TBTs at my school. I've always known that my TBT was not doing things correctly at all, but I didn't realize how incorrectly or how ineffective our use of TBTs is. And one thing that I think is really interesting is that some of the principals at our school and my TBT itself, for some reason, the other members of the TBT believe that my TBT is like the gold standard for the school, that we are doing things correctly. And the principals actually never really check up on us because we're doing things correctly, but we're really not. So when I was talking to my principal about another aspect of this program, not specifically this TBT assignment, but she said she was actually interested in setting up a pilot program to work with TBTs. And if this is something that she decides to do, I am very interested in working with her on this, especially after going through this assignment and seeing how TBTs are supposed to be set up. So TBTs and leadership theory. As I was setting up this assignment and thinking about how it relates to leadership theory, one place that I thought that the principal's role in the TBT really fit with was House's path goal theory. So when we think about the principal's role in TBTs, this is the theory that I thought fit best with what the principals are supposed to be doing as part of a TBT. So one thing that our text mentioned about House's path goal theory was that the behavior of leaders has an effect on the performance and satisfaction levels of the followers. So when I thought about this in terms of the principal and the TBT, principals should be working with TBTs to help them dig deeper into their data, to stretch them to try new learning strategies, and coaching them through the entire 5-step process. And by doing this, TBTs should see greater student achievement and greater attainment of goals. So this, if we go back to what our text said about the path goal theory, it would be that principal behavior that would have a positive impact on the performance of the followers. And by coaching the TBTs through the 5-step process, the principal would then be having an effect on the performance of the members of that TBT. So in the situation where the principal would be coaching the TBTs through the 5-step process, the principal would then be using the achievement-oriented leadership, which is one of the 4 categories of behavior that House mentioned in the path goal theory. And in this achievement-oriented leadership, our text said that a leader stresses excellence in performance, sets goals that are challenging, and shows confidence in the ability of followers to achieve challenging performance standards. So again, this idea of the principal being involved with and coaching the TBTs through the 5-step process would be a way that the principal is showing confidence in the abilities of the TBT and is stressing excellence within the TBT as well. The satisfaction part of the path goal theory, that the behavior of the leader has an effect on the performance and satisfaction levels of the followers, Well, research has shown that effective TBTs have a positive effect on student achievement and on the work environment. So again, the principal's role in the TBT can help to have greater teacher success within the TBT, greater goal attainment, and this, in my opinion, leads to a better and more positive work environment. If the teachers are attaining the goals that they are setting and that they are supposed to be meeting, and if they are moving the school or the district towards the goals that the BLTs and the DLTs have set, and everyone is working towards and achieving those goals, then the working environment itself would become less stressful. It would become a better work environment, if only because the teachers don't feel the pressure from the leadership team. You know, we need to meet these goals. We need to meet these goals. If these goals are being met, I believe this makes for a better working environment. So when looking at the principal's role within the TBT, I believe that the path goal theory is the one that is most aligned to how principals work within the TBT. I hope you've enjoyed this recorded PD session on the 5-step process, and happy grading.